This is Ed. It's late at night. It's like 2:30 about. It's when I like doing things like this, even though the light's not the best. It's okay. I could turn on more light. I could turn this on. But I think it's all right. This, so you can get, there it goes. I'm trying to get the light right. There you go. This is after the Ask the Unicorn, as it came out in 1968. Everything, when you look in this video, you get everything's backwards. So I get confused. I think I'm supposed to move it right, and actually I'm moving it left. Anyway, so this is Ask, and that's the back, with a picture of me as a kid on the back. This is one of the 3 copies that we use to find the best parts of in order to make the new pressing of Ask the Unicorn, which is this. Right. It's a little glossy because I still have the plastic cover on it. The black version is similar to, in terms of the cover, is similar to the album that was the look of the album that was released on Fontana when ESP put out this album in 1968. A British company called Fontana put out a dark version, a version like this, because when they got the picture, to make the album from ESP, they thought that they just assumed they were supposed to put the positive version out, because who wants to look at a negative? So anyway, so that happened in, like I said, back then. And then around 2000, ESP put this out. They couldn't find me in order to get my approval for the cover. I don't know if they were going to, but I assumed they were going to. They couldn't find me, and so Bernard got a relative of his, that's what I heard anyway, to make a design for the cover. He loved this cover. I hated it. And before he died, every time I would talk to him, which wasn't all that often, he would excoriate me, if that's a word, for my dislike of that cover and how insulting I'd been and all of that. But anyway, that's a whole other matter. And for years I wanted to re-release it. Now there's another cover, this cover, and this was released a few years later. I got messages from Bernard that he wanted to re-release it. He was hoping to put it out with Little Eyes, but they still had Little Eyes, and I wasn't going to give him Little Eyes. Anyway, and he didn't really have the tapes for Little Eyes or anything, so I wasn't going to give him that. So I sent him this. See, with this on the back, and this is a CDR, and I burnt this, and there were some notes on it, right? And it basically was this, which I made from this and added 3 songs to, and sent them to Bernard. And because I was hoping he would give up his idea of trying to put out Little Eyes and bothering people about it. And a few weeks after maybe a few weeks, maybe it was a couple of months after I sent him this CDR that this the kind of where I made up, and I call it the artist version. This came out with a sticker on it that said artist version. So this is this, and this has my notes that I wrote on this right here. Those are my notes that I wrote. And I didn't know he was going to put it out, but a friend of mine saw it in a store, and that's how I found out. I don't think I ever got any. Yeah, I did. I got a few copies. Maybe I got 10 copies of this. Like this one, when it came out, I got 10 copies of this. So that's the story of that. And then nothing happened for years. And then ESP had the album, and I've been told people were ordering it, but Bernard didn't want to, trying to get copies of it, and there weren't any copies available except MP3s. And so, and I know the guys who worked for Bernard, one of them anyway, wanted to release Ask the Unicorn again, which first it was just called at Askew, and then later on when this was released, it took on the title at that point, Ask the Unicorn. So anyway, for years he didn't want to release it, and I'm not sure why. Sort of the reputation of the album grew. When it first came out, it just tanked. It just vanished when it first came out. And also I tried to get some promoters interested in me and stuff like that, but they when I sang, this one guy, I remember I sang for him, and he got all weepy from my songs. He really liked my songs, and apologized profusely that he said he could never sell any album that I would make, and he was really sorry. That was a long time ago. So like I said, this is the new album. I took off the shiny cover just now. And that's the back. And it looks just like the ESP, except this part is in positive. And so this just came out. Tin Angel put it out. What happened was we were on tour in 2013, and I asked, I was complaining about this album not having gotten released and how nice it would be, and people really want it, and people at ESP was getting orders for it, but that's what I was told, but it wasn't going to be released. And so I was talking to Rich, who runs Tin Angel, and he said, do you want it put out? Do you want someone to put it out? And I went, oh, well, I don't know, maybe, because that's the way I am. It's like, and he goes, do you want me to put this out? And I said, yes. So we decided, and basically he called up ESP and just told them he was going to put it out. And after checking the legal things and realizing that we actually were fine with that. So we put that out, as you know, recently, and it's still not totally available. I guess it's going to be available someplace in November. We've got a few copies, but I think in Amazon they're still doing a pre-order, but Amazon will have it on November 20th. I think it's available now in some places. This is the cover. There you go. I'm just having this backwards problem here. I'm marking up, getting my fingerprints all over this brand new copy of this album I haven't played yet. And inside is a poster from the early 1970s. So you'll have your very own copy. See, 50 cents. That's a show I was doing at a place in New Haven at the Yale Graduate Center. Had a room called the Gypsy, and I used to put on shows there. And here are some pictures of me from a long time ago. Oh. And the notes, Clifford Allen's wonderful notes, more like an essay, really, about my music at that time. And that's what you get if you buy the CD. There's pictures, and there's this is nice. This is like when it opens, it's like that. Nice pictures, and then this is the CD, which is nice. And this is a booklet which has a cropped version of that poster as the cover of the booklet. And then the essay is on the inside, and along with some photographs that friends of mine took way back when. There's me living on Dixwell Avenue in New Haven in about 1974-ish. I left there in 1975, I believe. So I was there for a few years with a house full of friends. And there's a picture, I don't know who took this picture, of me playing at Bread and Roses, which used to be a coffee house in New Haven. So that's the deal. Get it.